Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time visiting this channel, I would like you to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to smash the notification bell so that whenever I post a new video you will get notified as soon as possible. So last week was a very fantastic week. All right, last week was so good to us. We were able to catch a lot of pips in the market, and so if you watched my last weekly forecast, you should be your week should be profitable. All right, because whatever I said here followed suit exactly as I laid out. All right, yes. So we are going into a new week. Remember, we have begun a new quarter. All right, we have begun the second quarter of the year, and bear in mind there is a change in the direction of the market every quarter. Every quarter of the year there is a change in the direction of the market. All right, yes. So this quarter, let's be observant and look at how the direction of the market will go. All right, so as usual, let's quickly go through these pairs and see what the market has for us going into next week. All right, yes. So let's look at the dollar index and see what is happening. All right, so last week I told you that I don't want to see price break this high. All right, yes, and we saw a push to the downside. All right, we saw a push to the downside, and Thursday, Friday, we saw price moving to the upside. So going into next week, my point of focus is going to be this other block. All right, this other block we are seeing here. I'm not expecting to see price break this other block if I am still bearish on this pair, on this index, on the dollar index. All right, yeah. So once this other block is not able to hold price, then definitely we are going to see higher prices on the dollar index. But at the moment I'm still bearish on the dollar index. So that is that. Let's look at what is happening on EURUSD. So if I'm bearish on the dollar index, definitely I need to see some bullish sentiment on the EURUSD. All right, so going into next week, I'm so bullish on the EURUSD. All right, so I'm expecting these bearish candles here, all right, to hold price. All right, I'm expecting these bearish candles here to hold price. If this low is broken, then definitely you are going to see lower prices. All right, so I don't want to see this low being broken. I want to see it kept intact. Then I expect to see price move to the upside, taking this high and these highs as well. All right, yeah. So going into next week, I am bullish on EURUSD. All right, let's look at what is happening on GBPUSD. Let's look at what is happening on GBPUSD. So EURUSD, GBPUSD, same plan. All right, so going into next week, I'm expecting to see higher prices on GBPUSD. I don't want to see this low being attacked. All right, I don't want to see this low being attacked next week. All right, I want to see price still push to the upside, taking this high and this high. All right, yeah. So going into next week, I am bullish on GBPUSD. Let's look at what is happening on GBPJPY. all right, yes. So for GBPJPY, last week I told you that on a higher time frame we are seeing some bullishness on the higher time frame. All right, but when it comes to lower time frame, yeah, there is some liquidity void to be filled. All right, yes. So on the daily, I'm bearish on the daily time frame. All right, I'm bearish on a daily time frame. So going into next week, I'm expecting to see some lower prices on GBPJPY going into next week. All right, I don't want to see this high being taken or this other block we are seeing here violated. All right, I don't want to see this other block violated. I'm expecting this other block to hold price to the downside, clearing this low, filling this liquidity void, and tap into this bearish candle we are seeing here. All right, yeah. So going into next week, I am so bearish on GBPJPY. Let's look at what is happening on NZDJPY. All right, yes, let's look at what is happening on NZDJPY. So GBPJPY, NZDJPY, same plan. I'm also bearish. I'm very bearish on NZDJPY as well. All right, I'm so bearish on NZDJPY as well. So look, this is what happened last week. Last week I didn't take any trade on this very particular pair. I folded my arms to see what is happening, and you see what happened last week. All right, price action on this pair was not very pleasant. All right, yes, it was not so pleasant for me. So going into next week, before I take any sell opportunity, all right, before I take any sell opportunity on this pair, I want to see price break this low. All right, I want to see price break this low, come back for a retest, then definitely we see price taking out all this liquidity we are seeing here. All right, see price taking out all this liquidity. So going into next week, I am bearish on NZDJPY. Let's look at what is happening on AUDJPY. All right, let's look at what is happening on AUDJPY. So NZDJPY, AUDJPY, same plan. All right, if I'm bearish on NZDJPY, then definitely I'm bearish on AUDJPY. So I didn't also take any trade on this pair. Last week I told you I'm expecting lower prices, right? Yes, but I didn't take any trade on this pair. All right, because price action on this pair was not pleasant for me. All right, yeah. So going into next week, I want to see price take out this low. Once this low is broken, then definitely I will take some sells to the downside. All right, let's look at how many pips would that be. Let's look at how many pips would that be. Let's look at how many pips would that be. All right, yeah, so almost 500 plus pips. All right, yes, 500 plus pips. So that is my target going into next week on AUDJPY as well as NZDJPY. Let's look at what is happening on AUDUSD. So for AUDUSD, we are not seeing that correlation between the dollar index and AUDUSD. We are still not seeing it. All right, we are still not seeing it. All right, so if I'm bearish on the dollar index, I'm supposed to see some bullishness correlation wise. All right, correlation wise, I need to see bullishness because the AUDUSD and then the dollar index have an inverse relationship. All right, but look at what we are seeing on AUDUSD. Look at what we are seeing on AUDUSD. Last week we saw price trying to push to the upside, but we saw some level of rejections. All right, multiple rejections. That should tell you that there is a selling pressure on this very particular pair. That tells you that there is a selling pressure on this very particular pair. So going into next week, I'm solely bearish. All right, per price action, I'll look for sell opportunities on this pair. All right, per price action, I'll look for sell opportunities on this pair to this area. Then we can continue to see that push to the upside. So going into next week, I am bearish on AUDUSD. So let's look at what is happening on NZDUSD. Let's quickly look at what is happening on NZDUSD. So for NZDUSD, last week, just as I told you, things are much clearer here. All right, so just as you've seen on NZDUSD last week, you failed to clear this low. So definitely that should tell you that. So just as you can see, we've seen a bullish institutional order flow. All right, price is failing towards price is respecting lows and breaking highs. That should tell you that we are in a bullish environment. So going into next week, I will expect to see higher prices on NZDUSD. Going into next week, I will expect higher prices on NZDUSD. So I'm bullish. All right, I'm bullish on NZDUSD going into next week. Let's look at what is happening on Euro AUD. For Euro AUD, last week we caught 300 plus pips on Euro AUD in my VIP. Yes, we caught 300 plus pips on Euro AUD. So going into next week, I'm still expecting more pips. I'm expecting more pips on Euro AUD. All right. So just as we can see, I'm bullish. All right. I'm still bullish on this pair. Going into next. I don't expect this low to be taken. All right. I don't expect this low to be taken out. All right. So going into next week, I want to see price attack this high. All right. I want to see price attack this high going into next week. So I am still bullish on Euro AUD. Let's look at what is happening on EURJPY. Let's look at what is happening on EURJPY. Let's look at what is happening. So GBPJPY, EURJPY, same plan. All right. I'm expecting to see some lower prices on EURJPY. But let's look at what is happening. Yes. So last week, this is what happened. All right. We saw bearish pressure setting in the market. All right. We saw a bearish pressure setting in the market. So going into next week, I'm expecting to see price violate this bearish candle we are seeing here. All right. I'm expecting price to violate this bearish candle we are seeing here. Once this bearish candle is violated, I'll wait for a retest back to this zone. Then I'll look for lower prices on EURJPY. So that is my expectation on EURJPY going into next week. So let's look at what is happening on USD card. All right. Let's look at what is happening on USD card. For USD card, I did a top-down analysis. Yes, I did a top-down analysis, but I posted it in my Telegram channel. All right, I posted this in my Telegram channel. I spoke about this low, which we saw price break that low. All right, I was expecting price to break this low, and definitely it did that. We were able to catch some pips on this pair. All right, able to catch some pips on this pair. So going into next week, I'm still bearish on this pair. Going into next week, but I want to see this low being cleared. Once this low is violated, then I'll continue to look for sell opportunities. All right, to this low going into next week. All right, yes. So that is my expectation on USD card. So that is that for my expectation going into next week. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do me that favor. All right, by clicking the subscribe button. Just hit the subscribe button and smash the notification bell for me, then become part of the fluxforex community. Something big is coming. All right, something big is coming. If you are not part of my Telegram community too, just look into the description box below. The link is there. Click on the link and become part of the fluxforex community. All right, there is so much goodies coming. All right, something so big is coming. All right, as you all know, fluxforex is still young in the forex in this industry. All right, fluxforex is still young in this industry. All right, there's a whole lot of big things coming, and you wouldn't want to miss. So kindly subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell so that whenever I post a new video you get notified, and look through the description box below to join my Telegram community. All right, yeah, so that is just that. I wish you all good luck and good trading going into next week. I'll come your way again another time. Bye.